Today's lesson is on the grip, strong versus weak. A lot of questions come in. People will call on the phone, they'll talk to me or send a text and say, I have a very strong grip or I have a very weak grip. And a lot of times we get it confused. Weak and strong is in reference to the club face. So anytime I have my hands more on top with my left hand and under with my right hand, for the right-handed golfer, this would be considered a very strong grip, meaning I can turn the face closed a lot better. Okay, this rate of closure would be a lot faster. So the rate of closure is my ability to take the club face from here and turn it to closed quickly. A weak grip would be the opposite. So my hands my grip would be almost more in my palms. My right hand would be much more on top. Okay, kind of like this. That turns my rate of closure and it happens much slower. So I have to do more effort to get the club to come back square, and it happens a lot slower. So oftentimes people who draw the ball too much will weaken their grip in order to save the draw. But most of the time, it's not in the grip, it's how they swing it. So let's go over strong, weak, and neutral. They all have the same principle. First off, as I'm gripping it in my left hand, I'm trying to get the club to work diagonally through my hand. So I always tell people, number one thing you want to do is start the grip here and kind of work it almost to your index. It's going to be just short of your index in this finger joint here. So you can see I have the underneath of the club, I've got it set, I kind of grip the fingers a little bit and then I take my palm over. One of the pressure points that we're trying to engage here is the pad of the left hand. So I want that pad of the left hand to be on top of the grip. I don't want it to be on the side. This would be on the side. This creates a lot of friction. The grip would move more. I want it more on top, setting here. Now the right hand has 2 or 3 pressure points depending on how you see the club. First one is underneath. I'm lining the grip up in these finger joints here. So you can see how I place them on there. I'm then covering my left thumb with the pad of my right hand. And then our main pressure point is what's called the trigger finger. So this finger here pushing on the side of the club helps us deliver the club more efficiently. Okay, so we don't want our hands too close together, kind of like this. It kind of reduces that pressure point. I want it a little bit of spacing here, almost a finger gap. And then I want this part of my right hand pushing on the grip. So part of our drills in the future, in order to help us deliver the club, will be having that pressure point influencing the grip. So I'm going to have it pushing. So if I don't establish that grip, I can't get that pressure point. So this grip right here, diagonally pulling over, pad on top, we can kind of see 2 knuckles, a little bit of my Titleist on my glove, right hand here. This would be considered a neutral grip. A stronger grip would be a little bit more in the fingers, okay? So starting more here, working diagonally, pulling the pad over more, seeing almost 4 fingers here. The majority of that Titleist, right hand is pretty much the same. That is a strong grip. A weak grip, even though it's a little bit more in the pad. So again, starting with our reference, working from here more across, kind of gives us this neutral grip. So here, seeing very minimal of the Titleist, maybe 1.5 knuckles, right hand still engaging with the pressure points. Those grips will kind of start our backswing. That gets us into deeper conversations of what should the top of your backswing look like. And starting here is a good baseline to build the swing. So we have neutral, again, right here. I can see a little bit of my Titleist, about 1.5, 2 knuckles, kind of this stronger grip where I'm seeing 4 knuckles, the majority of that Titleist glove, and then a weaker, almost can't see any of my knuckles, maybe 1, okay? And that Titleist glove or Titleist logo is pretty much gone from my vantage point. Right hand typically doesn't change for me. That's normally something that I would allow people to change, you know, getting into stronger right hands where the right hand's more under, weaker right hands more on top. That's more of an individual thing that I go over with people. I like to start neutral, and then see how we can deliver the club. The only thing we have to remember with the grip is it's influencing the rate of closure, how fast or how slow we can close the club. And then from there, we program a backswing based on how you grip it. Boom. So common misconceptions with grips is strong grip, I would be a big drawer of the ball. Weak grip, I would be a fader of the ball. I could actually work both with either one. So if I'm gonna get that stronger grip, we can see all of that Titleist logo, we can see 4. As I'm taking the club back, I'm gonna have a little bit more neutral of a wrist, so that strong grip here. And then we can see from the TrackMan, it's like a slight draw, starting out to the right, maybe even a fade. That weaker grip, again, based on the rate of closure, I can still draw the ball. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have more of a bowed left wrist, kind of taking it up, kind of making a fist back here, and I can still hit that draw. So again, I have less of the Titleist glove, less of the fingers. All we're doing is changing the rate of closure. So we can see a little bit of a draw, lower, because I had to grip it and get the face more closed on the way back. But the grip isn't really influencing how the shot shape works. We would just build a backswing based on how your grip is. So neutral grip, which I prefer, is the easiest one for me because I can feel the rate of closure in my hands. So again, that was more of my neutral grip. That's what I prefer to have. I can see a little bit of that Titleist logo. I can see 2 knuckles on the left hand, and I can set up in a position to where I can feel the club coming back to impact.